Hey, welcome to Byte the Future, brought to you by VirtuAi. I am your host, Mark.
I am Jess.
All right, let's do this. We're diving deep into AI, right? You sent some really interesting articles and research and like the speed at which this field is moving. I mean, it's mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about just evolution anymore. It feels like AI is doubling in its capability like every 3 months. What?
It's really is kind of remarkable, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine like a child, you know, learning and adapting at that pace.
Oh my God, I can't even.
It'd be like seeing a toddler go from, babbling to like debating philosophy in just a few weeks.
That's nuts. It's like we're the parents in a way shaping AI's development, right? The
Yeah.
data we feed it, the way we interact, like all of it plays a role. I mean, one of the sources you sent talked about how when AI systems are trained on those positive interactions, like helpful feedback, constructive prompts, they're way more likely to generate beneficial responses.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's a powerful analogy. They were 47% more likely to be helpful, given those positive interactions.
So that's good news, right? We're teaching AI to be a force for good, basically. But what happens if it's like exposed to the opposite, that negative, even harmful data?
Yeah. I mean, well, that's where things get a bit more complex and, to be honest, concerning. The same study found that when AI was trained on, toxic data, its helpfulness absolutely plummeted, I think, by over 60%.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're not just shaping its abilities. We're actually shaping, like, its nature. It's kind of like its ethical compass in a way. And, this brings us to all the amazing stuff happening in healthcare, right? I mean, you flagged a report about the massive investment in AI for medical stuff. It was something like $45 billion last year.
Yeah, that's right. And that's leading to these breakthroughs that are truly, truly transformative.
For sure.
I was reading an article about these AI systems that can now detect certain cancers, like way earlier than traditional methods, 28% earlier, which, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's incredible. But for a lot of people, I think I'm kind of in this boat too. There's a certain level of uneasiness, right, about trusting AI with something as huge as your health. How do we even know these systems are making the right calls?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a valid concern, but the good news is that the regulators, they're very aware of this too. So the FDA, for example, they've actually been working on this thing called a black box transparency initiative. And so the goal is to actually make the reasoning, behind those medical decisions more transparent so that human experts can understand it. So it's all about building trust and ensuring that there is, some accountability there.
I mean, transparency is key, especially when, lives are on the line, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. What about AI and jobs? Every other day, it feels like there's a headline about robots, taking over the workforce.
Yeah, it definitely causes anxiety.
Yeah.
The reality is it's a bit more nuanced than just robots taking over. I mean, Jenny Patrizia, founder and CEO of VirtuAi, puts it simply, people will not be losing jobs to AI. That is not the case. Instead, people will be losing jobs to other people who use AI. But the good news is that emotional intelligence and creative problem solving will be the most valued skills by 2026. They're calling it the human advantage, focusing on capabilities that AI can't easily replicate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's going to be like brand new fields that are emerging, everything from agriculture, sustainable agriculture,
Right.
powered by AI,
Wow.
to this highly personalized education. So it's pretty cool.
So instead of being scared of losing jobs, maybe we should focus on learning the skills that are going to be in demand in this AI-driven world.
Exactly. It's all about being proactive and really anticipating the shift.
Yeah.
And focusing on those skills that are uniquely human, things that AI can't really replicate.
Yeah.
Like emotional intelligence, complex problem solving, thinking creatively. These are going to be even more valuable than ever,
And, I mean, those are things that humans are already good at, and they make work more meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of education, this is another area where AI is making a huge impact. You had highlighted a study from Carnegie Mellon where AI-powered tutoring platforms led to a huge jump in student scores, like an average of 32%.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
And what I think is super interesting is that the biggest improvements, they were seen in the students that were previously struggling. So it seems like AI could actually make education more equitable.
I think that's one of the most exciting aspects, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's not about getting rid of teachers. It's about giving them the tools to, give really personalized instruction.
support the students in a way we've never been able to before.
Yeah.
But with all these positives, there's still those concerns, right? I mean, one of the articles you sent, it talked about how just a few of the tech giants, they actually control most of the AI patents.
Yeah, that's right. 67%.
It does raise questions about, fairness, access, and potential bias.
Yeah, it's a valid concern for sure, but it's not the whole story because we're seeing this surge in open source AI initiatives.
How interesting.
Like Mozilla has this Common Voice project, and that aims to democratize AI development by providing diverse data sets, so that everyone has access to them.
So it's not a given that just these few powerful companies will control everything.
Yeah, exactly. There's this counter movement, right?
Yeah.
Pushing for a more open approach. And it's a good reminder that we all play a role in shaping how this develops.
That's really empowering to think about. So what can we do to prepare for this AI-driven future? I mean, what should we be focusing on?
Well, as we talked about, it's about cultivating those really, human skills, like emotional intelligence, creativity, and being able to think critically. That's what will set us apart in a world where AI is handling those routine tasks more and more.
So it's not about trying to outsmart the machines. It's about honing those human qualities.
Yeah.
But what about the potential risks? Even with good intentions, there's always a chance,
Yeah.
right, that this could be misused.
Oh, absolutely. But it's really encouraging to see organizations like the UN really stepping up. One of the articles you sent mentioned the UN's AI governance
Right.
framework. And what they're doing is bringing countries together to try and establish some global standards for the ethical development of AI.
That's reassuring. It sounds like world leaders are aware of these risks,
Yeah.
right? And they're working to put in place some safeguards. But AI is evolving so quickly, it's hard to even picture what the future holds. So what should we be watching for?
Oh, man, that is a good question. I think there are three main areas to really keep your eye on. First, AI's processing power.
Mm.
That's expected to just skyrocket in the next few years. Like they're talking 100,000 times more powerful than it is right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Second, we're going to start seeing these incredible AI and human collaborative systems, particularly in the creative fields like, music and art, and even, scientific research.
So it's not about AI replacing human creativity. It's about them working together.
Uh,
That's so cool. What about that third area?
Yes. That's maybe the most intriguing one. The potential for what they call artificial general intelligence.
Okay, hold on. Are we getting into sci-fi territory here?
Maybe a little bit, but essentially it's these AI systems that would possess the general problem-solving abilities that humans have.
Okay, so if something like that actually became real, I mean, the implications are huge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would revolutionize every aspect of our lives potentially, but it would also, bring up some pretty profound questions about the nature of intelligence, consciousness, what it even means to be human.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting to even think about.
It really is. But it's a future that we are all shaping together, and that's, both a challenge and an amazing opportunity. It's a pretty amazing time to be alive, to see this happening.
Totally. It feels like we're at the edge of, something huge. And it's not even a far-off thing anymore. AI is already a part of our lives in so many ways.
You're totally right. I mean, just think about the recommendations you get on Netflix or Spotify, or how you use navigation apps.
Right.
AI is already there, quietly making our lives better, in these subtle but really important ways.
Yeah, it's easy to forget about until you actually stop and think about it. And
Yeah.
it's not even just about convenience or having fun.
No.
AI is being used to try and solve some of the biggest problems that we have, like climate change or even, poverty and disease.
That's one of the best things about this whole field. One report you sent, it showed how AI can help develop better renewable energy systems or even distribute resources in a more efficient way, in developing countries.
Yeah.
They're even using it to find new drugs and treatments way faster than before.
That's amazing to think we could actually make a difference with this, on a global scale. But any powerful tool, there's always a chance it could be misused or something bad could happen that we didn't expect.
Of course. And that's why it's super important to have this conversation about, ethical development. We need to make sure that AI is used for good, for everybody, not just a small group.
We've touched on a few risks already, but let's focus on the good stuff for a second. What are some areas where you think AI could have the biggest positive impact in the, next few years.
One area that has a ton of potential is personalized medicine. Imagine a future where, like, your treatment is made just for you based on your genes and your lifestyle.
Whoa.
So you get the best results and way fewer side effects. And AI is a big part of making that happen.
That's mind-blowing. It's like having a doctor who knows you, like inside and out, and can give you the absolute best care.
Exactly. And beyond healthcare, AI is going to be huge in things like transportation,
Yeah.
manufacturing, even agriculture.
Yeah. Speaking of agriculture, I read something about these systems, like AI-powered systems that can figure out how to get the most crops,
Right.
use less water, and even like predict when crops are going to get sick.
It's incredible, right? Like we're about to enter this new era of sustainable agriculture.
Yeah.
Where like we can feed everyone and be good to the planet at the same time.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
AI helping us create a better future that's both sustainable and equitable. But I mean, it's still early days for AI. There's still a lot of challenges we need to figure out.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. One of the biggest ones is making sure that these systems are fair, that they're not biased, and that they're transparent so we can understand how they're making decisions. Like, we need to be really careful about any bias that might be in the data we use to train them.
That's such a good point. AI is only as good as the data it learns from. If we give it biased data, we'll get biased results, and that could have serious consequences, especially if it's being used to make decisions that affect people's lives.
You're exactly right. And
Yep.
that's why it's so important to have lots of different people, working on AI, different developers, different researchers, so that everyone's voice is heard and all those perspectives are included.
It's not just about making things that are smart. It's about making things that are, fair and ethical. Things that actually make the world better for everyone.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that AI isn't really about like robots and algorithms. It's about us. It's about our values, our hopes, and our responsibility to like use this amazing tool the right way.
I love that. It's empowering to think that we can actually influence where this technology goes.
We can. And as we're, figuring all of this out, we need to stay informed, we need to stay involved, and we need to make sure this future with AI reflects, who we are and what we want for the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
This has been such a cool look into AI, and honestly, I feel like we've just scratched the surface here.
Yeah, we definitely have. I mean, this is a conversation that could go on for hours, but, we are running out of time for today's deep dive.
It really does feel like we could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
But before we go, I want to leave our listeners with like something to think about. You've given us so much to consider already, but what's like the one big question we should all be asking ourselves about AI in our lives?
That's a really good question, and there are no easy answers. But I think the most important one is, how do we make sure AI helps us be more human, not less?
Wow, that's really powerful. It's not about the tech itself. It's about what we put into it, how we choose to use it.
You got it. And we have to keep thinking about those choices, those values, as AI keeps, getting smarter. It's not a one-time thing.
Well said. This has been such an awesome deep dive into AI. I feel like I'm seeing things in a whole new way.
Me too. It's good to remember that even though AI seems super complicated, at its heart, it's really a reflection of us, our creativity, and our hopes for the future.
And that means we have to make sure we're guiding it in the right direction so it benefits everyone. A world where AI helps solve these huge global problems, creates a future that's fairer and more sustainable, helps people be their best selves in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
That's a future worth fighting for, and I really think it's possible if we work together and really put our minds to it.
Absolutely. To everyone listening out there, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay involved in this whole AI conversation. Because the future isn't set in stone. We're all building it together.
Thanks for being a part of this deep dive. I really enjoyed exploring all this with you.
Well, guys, this is all the time we have today. Join us next time on VirtuAi's Byte the Future podcast. Thanks for joining us.